course, we're getting some reaction and hopefully maybe some verbal response tonight on the program from the candidate, and the governor-elect, Mr. Alex Otti. And this is what he's telling his supporters and followers. He said to them to keep calm and that they are taking the right decisions to ensure that the mandate of the Labour Party and that of Alex Otti as the governor-elect of Abia State is not jeopardized. It's called for calm from all of his well-wishers and supporters, and insisting that his inauguration will hold as planned on the 29th of May. Of course, we'll be getting some official reaction. Mr. Julius Abure, who is the national chairman of the Labour Party, who we understand is in transit, might be joining us at some point, hopefully also. Incidentally, Mr. Alex Otti is also in transit. It would be good for viewers tonight to be able to get a clarity and some words for them. If there are indications that there are no register submitted based on the deadline and the window provided by INEC and the law to submit the party register, what does this mean? And perhaps we might be getting some clarity because, I mean, as the leadership of the party and as a candidate, they might be able to give some clarity. But of course, we have here also to give some assistance in terms of information and the next step for the Labour Party. Mr. Kende, who is the National Legal Advisor of the Labour Party, is here with me live in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Edu, for joining us. And also, we have a former Vice President of the NBA, Mr. Monday Obani, who is also live with us virtually from Lagos. Thank you so much, Mr. Obani, and appreciate your time tonight. Not only that, we would have loved to get some clarity in respect of another case bordering on the leadership of the party from Mr. Julius Abure, but also this matter. Give us an understanding, because in this kind of matter, as the legal advisor of the Labour Party, you should be very much privy to these and you should have an idea of what really went down. What went wrong?
In Abuja today?
No, let's begin with the Abia and Kano's in the Federal High Court today.
Yes, first of all, Labour Party is not perturbed by that judgment.
But what happened? I mean, let's look at, without the conjectures and the politics of it, let's look at the issue. Let me just say
what everybody can see. Look at, I've not seen the judgment, but I've seen the judgment order flying around. Anybody, just take a look at it. You see the parties. Who are the defendants in the matter? We have Labour Party, you have INEC. None of our elected members, Alex Otti is not a defendant in the matter. No elected member of Labour Party is a defendant. You don't scrape somebody's head behind him. Nobody can suffer injury. Nobody can get benefits from any judgment if you are not a party to that judgment.
Is there a principle
so clearly,
of the law in Nigeria?
that is clear. You see, there is a general principle of natural justice, which says you hear the other side. You don't condemn a man on heart. Somebody who is not a party to a matter, who is not even aware of the matter, who was not served with the process, how can you get a judgment against that person? So we are not perturbed. And you know, what are we saying? We are even happy about the judgment. This judgment is a vindication of our position that the Akpakpa group are sponsored to bring the party down. They are the one who went to Kano to file a matter, thinking that they could injure the party by nullifying the elections of our elected candidates, including Alex Otti, our senators. That's what they wanted. Our senators elect, our House of Reps elect, but they couldn't do it. The truth is that they went to Kano, they filed a matter against INEC and Labour Party, and they think with that judgment, they could nullify the elections of our elected members. That is not true. That can never happen. And you see, we are confident, so we are not perturbed in any way about what happened in Kano.
Has your party officially taken any steps?
Yes, the judgment was given yesterday. We have a lawyer in Kano who is trying to get the judgment to us. We have a citizen of the judgment, we look at it. But ordinarily, we have seen the judgment order that everybody has seen. We have looked at it. Look at the parties. That alone gives us confidence. None of our elected members was a defendant in the matter. You can't get judgment against somebody who has won an election, has gotten a certificate of return, is due to be sworn in, and you are saying you are getting a judgment against that person. But I also want to say that, you see, we have to look at the judgment order very well. The court actually said that it could not give order against Alex Otti. It is in that document that's flying around. The court said that it could not give order against Alex Otti because Alex Otti and the elected members in Abia are not before the court. And that if anybody wants any judgment against them, they should go to the appropriate division of the court. The court was talking about territorial jurisdiction in that matter. That court in Kano could not have done it. But I'm even saying, I'm curious that the court mentioned that Alex Otti and the members in Abia are not before the court, so the court couldn't give judgment against them. But even the members in Kano are not before the court. Look at, just looking at that process, that judgment order, you see that they were not before the court. So there's no way we could suffer any injury. We are happy because this is a vindication of our position about what Apapa and his motley group are doing. That's what they are doing.
Let me get Mr. Ubani into this matter. Give us an understanding, Mr. Ubani, of what to make of this. It's just a few days before inauguration, and this kind of judgment is coming. Although we're reading in some quarters now that the judge is saying he did not nullify Alex Otti's election or stopped Alex Otti's inauguration. What are your views on the verdict of the court?
Yeah, my opening statement, Sharon, thank you very much, is that this case that was decided within 1 week shows that if our judiciary wants to work, they want to work within a week. All those cases, you know, we have the election matters at the election petition tribunal can be disposed of expeditiously. If you take into account when this case was initiated and how fast the judge himself in Federal High Court, Kano, decided the matter. There are many issues, you know, concerning that matter. When I got the news, that was yesterday, or no, today. There are so many issues that, you know, cropped up in my mind. One, I was asking myself, is this a pre-election matter or is it a post-election matter? If it is a pre-election matter, who is the party? Who is this man? Does he have any locus? Why Federal High Court in Kano? And if it is a pre-election matter, has he actually complied with the timeline as provided for in Section 285, subsection 9 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, that says only 14 days you have in a pre-election matter? And this particular candidate, you know, they mentioned, that is Dr. Alex Otti, his primaries was concluded in, I think, sometime in last year, 2022, not even in 2023. And we are now in May. And you are bringing a pre-election matter in May of 2023, after election has been conducted in March. Now, if it is a post-election issue that this man is taking to Federal High Court, for God's sake, the Federal High Court is not a proper court. It doesn't have jurisdiction. When election has been concluded, result announced, and a party has been given what we call certificate of return. The proper place for you to now go is an election tribunal. Now, if you are raising the issue of qualification, you go there and as a candidate and challenge the man who has emerged as the winner, who has gotten the mandate of the people, whose election threw Abia into joy, you know, everyone dancing all over. For weeks, even as I speak to you now, Shehu, people are still rejoicing in Abia because of the fact that we have been delivered. We have been delivered by the man they call Dr. Alex Otti, who delivered Abia from where we were until this particular incident, you know, took place. So I am saying that if it is a post-election issue, the proper place is an election tribunal. And the election tribunal will take us up to Supreme Court. The election tribunal will take us up to Supreme Court. It's only at the Supreme Court that the final matter of Dr. Alex Otti will be determined, and not at a Federal High Court. It is Supreme Court that will determine it. So on 29th of May, Dr. Alex Otti will be sworn in as the governor of Abia State. He will be sworn in on 29th of May as the governor of Abia State. And no force, no power can remove him except the Supreme Court. You can't even go through the Federal High Court. He has to go through the election tribunal up to Supreme Court level. So that is the position now. So the issue is, who is this man? What is his locus in coming to Federal High Court? Is he as a pre-election matter or as a post-election matter? If it's a pre-election matter, then I can assure you that it is started bad. If it is a post-election matter, let him go to tribunal and show his locus.
Clarify to us, Mr. Ubani. I mean,
Yes.
for a lot of our viewers who are not very conversant with you lawyers' use of legal terms, and when you say statute bar, what does it mean? Are you saying that because election has been conducted, any matter that is brought before it, and when there are some non-compliance or issues, or there are some infractions that have been discovered, those matters cannot be brought as soon as the election are conducted? Is that a position of the law? Is that the electoral law? Or was it a position of precedent in law, especially maybe that of the Supreme Court? Clarify for us.
Yes, if it is a pre-election matter, the section I have cited before, section 285, subsection 9 says you have to bring that action timelessly within 14 days. And as I said earlier, the election of Dr. Alex Otti took place last year. His primary election took place last year. And we're now in May 2023. So you cannot be talking about pre-election matter in May 2023. So 14 days you have to bring that action. So if you didn't bring that action within 14 days, it is statute barred. Now, if you are coming in as a post-election issue, the proper court for you to now go in order to challenge the election of Dr. Alex Otti is the Election Petition Tribunal, not Federal High Court. And Federal High Court in faraway Kano, in which Dr. Alex Otti was not even a party, the issue of fair hearing comes in. So if it is a pre-election matter, as I'm speaking to you, it's a statute bar, because it has taken several months before you commence this action. If it is a post-election issue, the man must be a party. The proper place for him to go is the Election Petition Tribunal, not where he has rushed to. That is Federal High Court in Kano. That is what I mean. And then the issue of whether if a party fails to submit his members register 30 days before the primaries, if you look at that section 77, it did not say what the consequences are. It only say you must submit. Did he say that if you do not submit, that the election itself is now null and void? There was no such provision in the Electoral Act. Check that particular section under which they came. Section 77, subsection 3. It did not say there are consequences for you not to submit. But even if it is the issue, and you are now saying that it's a qualification issue, then go to election tribunal. They will look at it and look at section 177 of the 1999 Constitution to know whether that falls under the issue of qualification for a governor to become a governor, whether issue of non-submission of political parties register comes under qualification under section 177. That will be decided at the tribunal, but not at the Federal High Court. After election has been concluded, result announced, issue of a certificate of return given, and a mandate given by the majority of Abians who are dancing and rejoicing. You want to go and nullify and steal the vote of the mandate of the people in Kano. No way, Mr. Sheung. No way for those people who are doing this. They can't do it.
Okay, let me come back to Mr. Edun here. You said you have taken a step. What exactly are the legal steps that you have taken in this respect?
We'll look at the judgment. But what I'm saying, the judgment is not even worth the pieces of paper on which it is printed. But we will look at it. And because of the nuisance factor, because of the noise it has created, we may just go there to just appeal the judgment and get it set aside. But what we are saying is that it is clear that judgment cannot stop any of our candidates. Our candidates will be sworn in from May 29. We have our candidates. It cannot do any injury to us. We have said that clearly. And you can hear the analysis. It is clear that once somebody has become elected, the clear fact is that if you want to challenge that, you must have contested that election with him, and the only place you can go is an election tribunal to challenge that election. And from there, well, you look at what is the outcome from the tribunal, and the person that has won an election will still remain in office, even if the tribunal decides otherwise, because he has the right of appeal, and for governorship, a right of appeal to the Supreme Court. So
if we are hearing we're getting some responses. I don't know how authentic it is now until we're able to affirm it, that the court has said he did not nullify the election of Alex Otti. But let's look at the pleadings.
Yes, if you look at the pleadings,
just a moment. If you look at the pleadings, and I will read the fourth of that in the judgment order, the fourth paragraph from the court, which says, just a moment, which says the failure of the fourth defendant, which is Labour Party, to submit his register of members in Kano State and Abia State is in crass breach of the provisions of Section 77, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act. And I hope that my producer will be able to put that on the screen for our viewers to see. If you flip to the third page of this document, that is where you will find it. And on the top of it, you will find this section that I'm reading out, that the purported primary elections of the fourth defendant is invalid, null and void, and of no effect. If you look down, it's also on the fifth paragraph, it said that the fundamentally flawed primary elections of the fourth defendant, which is the Labour Party, as a result of failure to comply with the mandatory provisions of Section 77, 2 and 3, cannot produce a qualified candidate that participated in the general elections as held on the 25th of February. It went further to talk about, in the seventh paragraph, it says that the votes cast for all the candidates of the fourth defendant, which is Labour Party, in Kano State and Abia State in the general elections of 2023 are wasted votes. So the question is, why did your party make that mistake of not complying with the status, with the electoral law, which provides on what you need to do?
That is not correct.
Condition precedent for a primary election.
We complied. We submit our registered register of members of our party to INEC. We complied. And you know, this issue they are raising. Let me tell you, membership is about the party. Only a party can say, this is my member. It is true that some members were given waiver to participate in elections, but that is clear. It is the party's discretion. It is in the party's power to do that, clearly. But we did comply. We submitted our register of members. And we are saying that was there anybody that want to challenge the emergence of these people as candidates of the party ought to have done that within 14 days of the occurrence of the event?
They reacted directly to those paragraphs that I read, especially the paragraph 7, which said that the votes cast for all the candidates based on those preceding paragraphs is of the fourth defendant, which is your party in Kano and Abia State, in the general election are wasted votes, based on the fact that it says that you did not meet up with the Section 77, 2 and 3. And that provisions are clear, which says that you cannot produce a qualified candidate to participate in the election because you did not meet the condition precedent for a primary election for you to go into a general election.
The law did not say that. That is the prayer of those people to the court, because that is what they wanted. But that is mere wishful thinking. The law did not say, okay, don't go and look at that section. It did not say if you did not submit register of members, your votes are wasted. No. That the law did not say that. What we are reading is a prayer that they made to that court. Yeah, that is what they wanted. That is their wishful thinking, because they wanted to bring the party down. This suspended former national officers of the party, including Akwamba, including the suspended former national legal advisor, including the suspended former national youth leader, including the suspended former national public secretary. That is what they wanted. That's their prayer to the court. But that is not true. The law never said that. Let me tell you, in any law, if you want to interpret any law, that's what they call the mischief rule. That says, what was the mischief in the old law that section wanted to cure? Now, the reason they brought that into the law is that for the purpose of direct primaries, so that INEC will know clearly who are the members of that party. That is the reason, and that is the need.
Okay, so let's make sense of it. Okay. So the section on which the prayers of the plaintiff was based, let me read it. It says in subsection 2, every registered political party shall maintain a register of its members in both hard and soft copy.
Yes, true.
Subsection 3 says, each political party shall make such register available to the commission not later than 30 days before the date fixed for the party primaries, congresses, or convention. Yes. And the plaintiff is saying that you did not meet up with that deadline.
That is not true. We submitted our register of members, and you have read the law. Did the law say anybody that did not submit the votes cast for his candidates are null and void? That law did not say that. That is mere wishful thinking of these renegades who wanted to bring the party down. That is what they wanted, but the law never said that.
So,
I've told you that the reason for that in the law is that INEC will know who are the members because of direct primaries. That's the reason.
Why is your party enmeshed in all of this quagmire? I mean, there is another issue in the court of whether Abure is the substantive national chairman or it is Apapa, and these are contentions from the different camps. Wherever you belong, you might be able to argue or debate it, but why is this a contention? Why is your party facing this kind of problem?
It is because of the success we have achieved. We told you that we are different from these other parties, and we are doing something differently, and the Nigerian people are with us. The ordinary masses of Nigerians are with us. And let me tell you, these people that are benefiting from the old order will never be happy with this. They have a lot of money to throw around. They have entrenched themselves. They are not happy. They wanted to continue to put the people down. So they are seeing now that these people are growing. They are taking over the country. Let us sponsor people to attack them. We are ready for all this. We knew it will happen. Let me tell you, success will always have people who want to detract you. But we are determined, because this is what Nigerians wanted. That is why they voted massively for us. We are not going to betray Nigerians. We are going to keep the faith. We are going to be strong for Nigerians, because we know what we are taking on.
Mr. Papa was in court today at the tribunal. Yes. Did you see him?
Yes, he was at the tribunal, but I think he has learned his lessons. He did not make trouble the way he made trouble the other time. So I think he has learned his lessons. And let me tell you, Akwakwa is a victim of some of these renegades. So the former national legal advisor, the former national youth leader, the former national public secretary, they are the one that it's like he's being held hostage. I pity the old man. This man is held hostage by people who are deceiving him, who think he can be chairman. How can? The court in Abuja today said he never appointed anybody as acting officers, even though he granted an interim order, so restraining some national officers. He did not appoint anybody, and that why would people be parading themselves as acting officers of the party? Let me tell you, these people are misguided, they are renegades, and well, their game is up.
All right.
What happened in Kano is also their handiwork. You can see that. But you know, I said it the last time I was on this program. I told you about Akwakwa and his group writing letters to all the tribunals, trying to withdraw our petitions. Today, they attempted it at the presidential tribunal when they brought a lawyer, a senior advocate, who said he had just been briefed. But the court reprimanded the senior lawyer and told him that as a senior lawyer, he should have done better. He did not file any petition before. You know, I told you the last time when I was here, I said when a petition is filed, the counsel who filed, the team of lawyers, their names will be on the petition. The counsel who filed, they will sign the petition with the names of the team of lawyers, and the petitioners themselves will also sign. So, I mean, and now somebody went to court today and said that they had just been briefed.
The procedure of the court, even before the court starts listening to any petition, is that it will recognize the lawyers that have been briefed, that their names are on the case, and that is what happened for either the petitioner or the defendant, whoever you are in the case. All of the lawyers that will be represented in the matter, their name will officially be mentioned before the court. But let me allow Mr. Monday Ubani to give us his closing thought on this matter. If you are to advise Labour Party in this respect, and for what I have seen and known covering these beats, there's nothing that anyone needs to take for granted. The little and the slightest of the storm can actually sweep anyone away. We've seen this happen in our politics severally.
Yeah, the Labour Party have very smart guys around them. I'm sure, you know, immediately this thing happened, they were able to get copies of the judgment, the court order. And of course, it's circulated all over the place. And they have taken steps in order to prepare to file an appeal, to set aside this particular order. As I said earlier, the court has no jurisdiction whatsoever. It is a post-election matter that should go to a tribunal and not at the Federal High Court. It is a judgment that is given by incuria. Maybe the man was misled, and because we hear about that later. That particular ruling couldn't have been made by a judge who has been properly seized of the facts of the case that this is a post-election issue. Let's even assume that this is a post-election issue in which the court is being asked to determine issue of qualification. Won't proper parties be joined? Was Dr. Alex Otti that he made a judgment against them? Was he part of the particular case? He made a statement that he cannot issue certificate of return, order INEC to issue certificate of return to any person that was not a party in the issue. So if he recognizes that those people were not parties in that case, why will he now make an order against Dr. Alex Otti that was not a party? Why would he make an order against Dr. Alex that was not a party? Where you know that there are parties that were not there, and you couldn't order INEC to issue them certificate of return. As I speak to you today, from that judgment, Dr. Alex Otti is still in possession of the certificate of return. And so he will be the one that will be sworn on 29th of May, and no other person. So they are taking steps in order to set aside this particular order. It was given by inquiry. The judge was not properly seized of the facts.
By inquiry means that...
in ignorance, that the relevant facts, the relevant law were not brought before the court. So the court...
So the final part, I mean, I like your final thought. Now, the final paragraph of that judgment, paragraph 9, the court was saying, and this is I found very intriguing though, because if the court has said, if you do not meet this certain standard based on paragraph 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that elections those votes are wasted. But we'll see what the court now said in paragraph 9, which makes me a bit more worried about the entire judgment. The court now said the candidates that participated in election in Abia State are not parties before this court. As such, the court lacks the jurisdiction to make an order for the issuance of certificate of return to them. They are, however, at liberty to seek the said redress in the appropriate division of the court. But why did the court in the first place say the votes in those elections?
You can see the confusion.
So there seems to be, in that piece of judgment, there seems to be some...
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
Yes. You can
your final thoughts tonight.
Yes. My final thought is that we thank Nigerians for standing with us, and we are vindicated because we preempted them. We knew what they were doing. The Akpakpa-led group. They are the one behind all these things. But we are not perturbed. Because we are happy, we are even happy about that judgment, because that has exposed all the intrigues against the party. It has exposed the kind of attack we are facing from many quarters. But we will remain strong for Nigerians. We promise them that we will not be deterred.
Thank you so much. It does look like the leadership politics of your party, we're seeing the legal angle to it, and that is what is really unsettling things in your party. Kehinde Edun, National Legal Advisor of the Labour Party, and Monday Ubani, a very senior lawyer and a former vice president of the NBA. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.